Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only Animation Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the powers of darkside. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of the series, and if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out, you guys will definitely like it. And yeah guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be very helpful to me as I want to reach 20k subscribers, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto wanted to train with his siblings and he wanted Minato and Kushina to train him, but when Minato and Kushina asked him to come, he was shocked to hear what they wanted to say as Minato told Naruto that he was the son of Hokage and he should make more contribution to Konoha. His only way for contribution is to give up his chakra, as the yin half of his chakra will be given to Menma and yang half of his chakra will be given to Mito. After all, there's the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and as long as Naruto hand over his chakra, then Menma and Mito would be able to control the power of Kyuubi in the future, and they would have even greater chance, as Naruto could not accept it from the very young age. Naruto could always feel that inside of him was a power which he simply cannot grasp. Previously, he thought that it was the power of the Kyuubi, but unknown to Naruto, this was the power of the dark side, one of the most powerful being in another multiverse, as Naruto did not know about it, while on the other hand, Kushina was angry that Naruto hesitated, as Kushina told him that he have only for tomorrow to think about it, and even if he do not agree to it, he have to make contribution to family. After all, they are feeding him and clothing him at the same time, and Naruto should make more contribution to village and to family, and after that, she simply decided to train Menma and Mito, and Minato also gave the ultimatum to Naruto to hand over his chakra for the good of the village and for Konoha, as Naruto could never accept that. He still wanted to be a shinobi, a powerful shinobi, and to make his parents regret it, as Naruto decided to leave Konoha, and his power granted his wish, as no one was able to notice how Naruto escaped the Namikaze Uzumaki household, and when he left the village, he let his guard down, and the root Ambu quickly realized that this was the son of Hokage who has left village without telling anyone. So they gave this information to Danzo, who gave them orders to bring Naruto back to the root. After all, Danzo wanted to use Naruto for his own purposes, but unknown to him, it was also a good thing for Naruto, as Naruto, after getting a beating from a root Ambu who hated Minato, because Minato wasn't able to save his sister in a third great ninja war. That was the reason he joined root, as he gave Naruto a thorough beating, but unknown to him, he awoke the true power that was sealed inside of Naruto, as the true power of darkside was awoken in Naruto, as Naruto unleashed his Omega beams, which destroyed the bodies of all the root Ambos, and their chakra returned back to Naruto. From this, Naruto gained knowledge of things which he did not know about it, the life equation and anti-life equation, and the power of chakra itself seemed to be the fragments of the life equation itself. As Naruto gained all the chakra of these people, afterward Naruto decided to train. And after years of training, Naruto finally gained the true power of dark side. At the age of 16, he could handle all of this power. This power even evolved the power of Kyuubi that was sealed inside of him. And at this point, Kyuubi is 10 times more powerful than the 10 tails itself. It was like a personal pet to Naruto. Afterward, Naruto decided to pay a visit to the water country, who seemed to be in the midst of a civil war. There, Naruto simply took care of Yagura, shocking all the people that were present there. After all, Yagura was just a Jinchuriki of three tails. Naruto made single move, destroyed the Bijudama, and also took down the three tail. His aura was enough to scare all the shinobi that were present there, as Naruto took Meiterumi as his woman, and afterward told all the people of the Mist village that Meiterumi would be the leader of the Mist village, and no one had the power to disobey Naruto. After all, this guy, the power they were sensing from him was immense. Not only that, he took care of a Kage level shinobi, a Biju, with a single move, so no one had the guts to disobey Naruto anymore. Therefore, Meiterumi became the fifth Mizukage. So yeah guys, that was the last part of the series. So if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So without any further ado, let us start the story. So, I'm gonna start my story with our protagonist Naruto. At the moment, Naruto was sitting in the chair of the Mizukage, and on his lap was Meiterumi, who seemed to be getting more and more addictive to Naruto. After all, Naruto's presence, his power, was something that it attracted the power of chakra, as Meiterumi did not even realize that she was affected by the powers of Naruto, while on the other hand, Naruto could feel that his powers were growing even further. Even this power which he has is not the limit of his strength, and Naruto believes that his power is more than enough to sweep through the shinobi world. But Naruto do not care about the shinobi world, not actually. The true thing he wants is chakra. He could feel it. This was the power of the life equation, separated into tiny parts, and Naruto believed that once he have all the chakra in the shinobi world in his hand, he will be able to see a greater realm. After all, this universe is based on the power of chakra, and if Naruto can gather it, then the life equation will be in his hand. And as long as he had the life equation as well as the anti-life equation, he would be the ruler of the multiverse. As a shinobi entered the room as Naruto looked towards him blankly as Shinobi was sweating hard. After all, Uzumaki Naruto was the new leader and ruler of the water country. And yes, the water country, Naruto has already taken care of the daimyo, and no one had the guards to attack Naruto, while on the other hand, Meiterumi did not even bother to look towards the shinobi, but the shinobi was sweating hard as Naruto spoke up. Speak. As the shinobi gulped a little, well, my lord, this is a letter from Konoha. They seem to be gathering for a Chunin exam, and they have invited our Mist Village for the Chunin exam. As Meiterumi raised an eyebrow at that as she looked towards the scroll, as Naruto simply grabbed the scroll and opened it. As Meiterumi spoke up, my lord, should we participate in this country Chunin exam? As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, honestly, he do not care much about it, but Konoha, that does bring back memories. Maybe he should participate in it. After all, he has to let go of his previous self, the self which still had hopes for Minato and Kushina and desire for a family. As Naruto closes his eyes, his ambition is already spread through the multiverse. He do not care about his previous life, but maybe he should bring a decisive end to that chapter of his life. As Naruto opened his eyes, which were now glowing red, alright then, I have decided I will take part in this Chunin exam. After all, there are still things in this world I need to cut ties with before I go on my journey of conquering the multiverse. As Metrumi has stars in her eyes, her lord is the best in the multiverse. Even though she did not knew anything about the multiverse, but she was like a fangirl at this point. But Naruto simply finally stood up from the chair and looked in the skies. As Naruto could feel it, there are more powerful beings in this universe. And once he had all the chakra of this universe under his command, the portal to next universe will definitely open the life equation. As Naruto smirked at that, while on the other hand in Konoha, Minato Namikaze at the moment was sitting in his Hokage chair and looking towards the village. The village was getting more and more prospered as Minato had a content smile on his face. Honestly, the things are going quite well for Konoha and for Minato lately. He has become the fourth Hokage. His children are becoming stronger and stronger. Menma and Mito could already control the fourth tail worth of Kyuubi's chakra. He has already taken almost all the powers in the hand of elders for himself. You can say that Minato seemed to be at the top of his world at this point, but a small frown came to Minato's face. If only Naruto understood the true essence of the will of fire and hand over his chakra to Menma and Mito. Minato still believed that the only reason Menma and Mito cannot use the full power of the Kyuubi sealed inside of them is because Naruto did not hand it over his chakra to them. As long as the deficiency in Menma and Mito's own chakra is made up, then they would be able to control the true power of the Kyuubi for themselves, and Konoha would be even stronger. As Minato shook his head, he has sent several Ambu all this time to search for Naruto, but none of the Ambu were able to find anything of that wayward son. As Minato sighed, if only Naruto understood the true essence of the will of fire. As Minato simply shook his head, and finally the door opened as Kushina finally arrived. In this time, Kushina felt a little bad about the situation of Naruto, but once Minato explains the heritage of Konoha and the beauty of the Villa Fire, Kushina also understood that Naruto should have made more sacrifices for the prosperity of Konoha and for the strength of her beloved children. After all, Naruto may be a lowly civilian, but he would still be protected by the Hokage, and she would also take care of his business. But alas, Naruto have no consciousness of the Villa Fire, as Kushina thought in her mind. While, on the other hand, far away in the Mount Miyaboko, the great old toad sage finally opened his eyes. He was sweating hard as he had another vision. The world was in fire. No one was spared by that so-called demon and the power of chakra. It was like a tool in the hand of that being as he gave an order as a toad appeared in front of him. Go, send a message, bring Jiraiya to me as soon as possible. As the toad nodded and disappeared from the location to summon Jiraiya, while on the other hand, the great old toad sage looked into the sky. Hagoromo, if only you were present here, I can only hope that the child of destiny would be able to stop this being who do not belong to this universe. As the great old toad sage closes his eyes, he could only hope that Hagoromo would be able to stop this kind of destruction and that boy, as he was truly scared, while on the other hand, Jiraiya at this moment was peeping in the bathhouse, but suddenly he could feel it, the summons of the toads as Jiraiya closes his eyes and let himself be summoned in the Mount Miyaboko. This must be a message from the great old toad sage. After all, long ago, he was given a dream. He was given a destiny, boy, and he was training Menma and Mito for that, and now it seemed that the great old toad sage have another premonition as Jiraiya disappeared from the place and finally arrived in the Mount Miyaboko. And in front of Jiraiya was Fukasaku. As Fukasaku looked towards Jiraiya, well, Jiraiya boy, it has been some time. As Jiraiya gave the thumbs up, well, Fukasaku-sama, you summoned me here. Could it be related to the great old toad sage? As Fukasaku simply nodded at that, well, follow me. Great old toad sage is woken up and he wants to meet you. As Jiraiya nodded at that, all goofiness disappeared from his face. After all, the great old toad sage, Jiraiya admired him far too much. As they finally arrived at the door of the room where the great old toad sage was present, as the toad looked towards Jiraiya, well, Jiraiya boy, it has been some time. I hope that you are doing well. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that, well, Jiraiya boy, perhaps you remember I gave you a premonition of the future. How is the training of the destined child going? As Jiraiya nodded at that, well, I'm pretty well. As for the training, we are training Menma and Mito because we believe that one of them is the child of destiny. But do not worry, even if only one of them is the child of destiny, the other one will definitely help him achieving his proper destiny. As the great toad simply nodded at that. After all, in this timeline, Menma is the reincarnation of Ashura Chakra, so therefore he is truly the true child of destiny in this timeline, not Naruto. Naruto was something even special. After all, you cannot have someone as weak as Ashura in the same sentence as someone as powerful as Darkseid. So Naruto have the power of the dark side, and he cannot be the reincarnation of Ashura anymore. So Ashura can only choose the second best, that was Menma, and the third best would have been Mito. But it seemed that Menma in this time have more of a cake. And finally, Naruto looked towards as Jiraiya finally looked toward the great old toad sage, as the great old toad sage sighed at that, well, Jiraiya, I have been hiding one thing from you for years. Perhaps it is time that you know about it as well. I had a new premonition, a new dream. As Jiraiya looked towards the toad, what are you talking about? The great toad sage. As the great toad sage finally spoke up, well, Jiraiya, I had a new premonition. In this premonition, I saw a boy. His red eyes and the power he possessed, he was able to destroy the world. No one was able to stop him, not even the child of destiny. And I can only hope that this dream would not come true, because if it did, that no one in the shinobi world, not even the sage of six path, would be able to stop this being. At this point, I can only tell you one thing about this being, that he has not achieved all of his powers. You have to stop him before he reached that level, because if he did, no one in the shinobi world, not even the sage of six path and his brother working together, would be able to stop him. As Jiraiya was truly taken aback at that. What are you talking about, great toad sage? I did not knew anything about it. As the great toad sage simply sigh at that. I can only say one thing, this being do not belong to this universe. This power should not even exist in our timeline and our world, but it has appeared. And previously, the child of destiny should have stopped other powerful beings for destroying the world, but this being, it is an anomaly in our universe, and you have to stop him, Jiraiya. Otherwise, once again, all of his power, no one would be able to stop him. After that, Great Toad says simply started to sleep. He was already too tired, to already had used all the power to as Jiraiya was taken aback at that a being that does not belong to this universe, as Jiraiya was truly scared now. The shinobi world was already facing too many crises, and now such a powerful being has appeared in this universe. He have to give this information to Minato as soon as possible. Menman Mito have to be ready, otherwise the world would be in danger. As Jiraiya quickly decided to leave the Mount Miyaboko for Konoha. While in Konoha, Minato was looking toward the Jonin Council in front of him. So these are the students we are gonna give for our Chunin exam. So I hope that you will be able to train your respective Janins so that they may bring honor to Konoha, and our Wheel of Fire can be spread through all the other villages. As Minato gave a smile at that, as all the Jonin nodded at that. For Konoha and for the Wheel of Fire, they are ready to sacrifice anything and everything. And with that, they decided to leave. At that, as the third Hokage looked towards Minato with a bit of complicated expression on his face. Honestly, the Wheel of Fire, when he decided to use it, it was nothing more than a means for him to consolidate all power of Konoha. After all, he used it in Academy so that the next generation could only know about the Hokage. After all, when he became Hokage, Mito Uzumaki, the Senju and Uchiha did not thought much of him, and he only had the power, little power, mainly the academy and some minor departments. So he used this Wheel of Fire, but he never thought that it would work. Something like this. It was almost like brainwash people. The only person in the Konoha who does not have Wheel of Fire in his heart can only be Saitobi Hiruzen, because he always knew what Wheel of Fire truly was, nothing but a means of brainwashing. But now, looking towards the Jonin and even the Hokage, who almost feel like brainwashed, the third Hokage had complicated expressions on his face but decided not to do anything about it. After all of his life he has said about the Wheel of Fire, so he cannot say now that the Wheel of Fire is just a brainwashing tool. As the third Hokage simply shook his head. Finally, the door was slammed open as Jiraiya entered. From there, this surprises both the third and fourth Hokage as Minato raised an eyebrow at that. Sensei, are you alright? What is going on? As Jiraiya was panting a little, Minato, I have information from the great old toad sage. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that, honestly, he also have faith in the great old toad sage. After all, the many premonitions of the great toad sage have come true, and Minato believes that Menman Mito, one of them, is the child of destiny. As Jiraiya spoke up and started to explain, well, Minato, I was summoned by the Great Toad Sage, and he explained that a being that does not belong to this universe has been born in our universe, and his power is not restored to its peak, but he will bring utter destruction to this world. We have to stop him, Minato. As Minato stood up in utter shock, he could not believe his eyes and ears. As he said, Jiraiya Sensei, are you sure about it? Is this what the great Toad Sage has said? As Jiraiya nodded at that, and Tadokage had a, you can say, surprised look on his face. Honestly, he do not have any faith in a toad. After all, what is even a toad to begin with? As Tadokage looked towards Jiraiya and Minato, who were believing the words of the great Toad Sage as if they were truly beyond any doubt. As Tadokage sighed, these two people were beyond hope, but he decided to speak. Well, Minato, are you sure about it? After all, as far as I know, the Great Toad Sage is rather old, as both the fourth Hokage and Jiraiya looked toward the third Hokage. You do not understand, Sensei, how great the Toad Sage is truly is, and Minato nodded at that. Yes, the great Toad Sage can never be wrong, Tadokage. You should have faith in him. As Tadokage was dumbfounded. Previously, he thought that he was the one who was the most greatest in the whole of the shinobi world in brainwashing, but now looking towards Jiraiya, his own student, and Minato, the fourth Hokage, who seemed to believe in the great Toad Sage like there was no problem and there could never be any doubt about it whatsoever, and even telling him, the third Hokage, that he should have faith in the great Toad Sage and he could never be wrong. He had to admit that the Toad is even greater at brainwashing than he himself was. As Tadokage silently decided to shut his mouth as Jiraiya explained about everything. As Minato nodded at that, you're right, Sensei. You're right, Sensei. I will give orders to Ambu as well as our specialists to find what is going on in the shinobi world. If there is any being who have used some strange powers, then we can use it as a way for us to confirm everything. And when we will find this being, we have to destroy it and seal it away if possible, no matter the means. As Jiraiya and Minato were making ways and plans, as Tadokage decided not to say anything about it. After all, he already knew how the brainwashing works, and Minato and Jiraiya will not believe anything if he ever want to say anything against the great Toad Sage. While on the other hand, Naruto has finally decided to leave the Mist Village to Konoha. After all, it is time for him to say one last goodbye to his previous life, while on the other hand, the Chunin exam preparation were already made as Jiraiya as well as Ambu were getting information about all the major 5 villages as well as the other smaller countries to find someone who used strange powers, and they were able to find some signs. And finally, they located that there was something wrong in the water country and the mist village, and this was the information given to Minato as well as Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kushina, and third Hokage, who was sitting in the Hokage office, as Jiraiya said, "Well, Minato sensei, I have gathered this information. There seemed to be something wrong with the Mist Village. It seemed that this civil war has come to an end, but the one thing I have found odd that there were no casualties, not much casualties. Only Yagura and some of his loyalists were killed off, and it seemed that there was a being that no one said name of. Even when I tried to use other means, they were unable to say anything about it, and some of them even died before they could say anything about that being. And now it seemed that this being is in charge of the Mist Village." As all the people looked towards each other, even Tadokage raised an eyebrow at that, a being so powerful that could suppress the entirety of the Mist Village and even killed off fourth Mizukage. Fourth Mizukage was rather popular in his way. After all the civilians of the and the minor clans were behind the fourth Mizukage. He only had hatred towards the bloodline users, so he was rather popular in the village, and someone has killed him and the other people did not try to avenge the fourth Mizukage. It was really something strange about this situation, and Jiraiya spoke up, "Well, Minato, what are you gonna do about it?" As Minato thought for some time, they have to stop this being, whoever it is, if it is truly the one the great Tooth Sage have said about, that he had to practice his will of fire, and even if he had to sacrifice himself, he will take him down. As Minato nodded at that, Kushina, after training for Menma and Mito, make them control the power of 5 tails as soon as possible. As Kushina frowned a little, all the experiments they did before to control the power of 9 tails, both Menma and Mito are unable to go upward from the 4th tail, no matter how they tried. When they try to enter the 5th tail, they always go berserk, and Kushina could feel it every time they entered in the 5th tail, and their power weakened a little, and Kushina was confused about it but did not talk too much about the situation. As Minato spoke up, "Do not worry. This time the Mist Village is sending some of their genin for the Chunin exam. So I want to see what they are truly made up of and who is this being who has controlled the Mist Village from the shadows." As Minato dismissed everyone, as Minato started to look towards the village, he will protect the village and practice his will of fire to protect everyone, as Minato thought in his mind, not knowing that Tadokage was looking towards him as if he was a lunatic. But the Tadokage decided not to say anything. He could only be proud of his accomplishment of brainwashing everyone. All the Jonins are brainwashed, even the fourth Hokage is brainwashed. Only he himself seemed to be the only sober person, but decided not to say anything and decided to leave from there. As Minato smiled at that, even getting more and more proud of himself. Finally, the day has arrived, and on the doors of Konoha, the Chunin were present there and letting the other villages Janin entered in the Konoha. Finally, the time arrived as Naruto finally appeared in front of the Chunin. As the Chunin spoke up, "Alright, what is your name and the village you are associated with?" As Naruto finally removed the hood from his face, "The name is Uzumaki Naruto and I am from the Hidden Mist village." And when Both Chunin heard the name. They were stopped for a second, Uzumaki, as they looked towards Naruto, and when they saw the golden hair and the blue eyes, they were taken aback. How is this even possible? This seemed just like their fourth Hokage, but suddenly their eyes widened. They remember long ago they even participated in a mission. Uzumaki Naruto as one of the Chunin opened his mouth at that. Don't tell me you are the. As Naruto looked towards him, is there anything wrong? This is my pass. As Naruto gave him the pass, as the Chunin grabbed it and looked towards it, it seemed to be a Janin from the Mist Village. As the Chunin shook his head and gave a signal as a Ambu, who was looking towards this, also noticed what was going on here, and he was also shocked as he disappeared from the place and finally arrived at the Hokage office as Minato was looking towards. Kushina, are you sure about it? As Kushina sighed at that, well, Minato, I'm telling you, I have tried everything, even Jirai sensei have entered in the fray. I do not believe that Menma and Mito can enter in the state of Five Tail. They are unable to control the power, and every time they use it, they go berserk. As Minato frowned at that, Menma and Mito should be able to control the power of Nine Tails. After all, they have red hair, their Uzumaki bloodline is pure. Imito even have the chakra chains of the Uzumaki clan, and she also had these healing arts, and he was proud about it. Menma, while on the other hand, was more weak on the side of sales, but he also have the Uzumaki sage body, so this should not be happening. Could it be that it was really a deficiency in their own chakra as Minato frowned at that. But Ambu finally appeared. Lord Hokage, we have some information about you. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that. What are you talking about? Explain it to me. As Minato gave the order as the Ambu nodded. Well, Lord Hokage, on the door from the side of me, some Janin has arrived and he has given his name. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that, wondering what could be so wrong about the Mist Village. After all, he has given orders to keep an eye on the Mist Janin. But it should not be this urgent. As Ambu finally spoke up, Lord Hokage, his name is Uzumaki Naruto. When both Minato and Kushina heard that name, their eyes widened at that, while on the other hand, Minato had a thought in his mind and excitement started to come to his eyes. After all, he was just looking for a way for Menma and Mito to control the power of the Nine Tails, and at the same time, Naruto has finally appeared. It seemed that Naruto finally had realized that his destiny is to hand over his chakra, while on the other hand, Kushina frowned at that. Why is that kid back? As Kushina spoke up, could it be that he finally realized that he cannot make way in the world and finally decided to come back for us to take him in? As Kushina smirked at that, well, it is already too late. He should hand over his chakra. At that, as the Ambu looked towards Minato and Kushina, and he could not understand what they are talking about. But as an Ambu, he do not need to think too much about it. He has already given the report. And Minato quickly came out of his stupor. Well, summon Uzumaki Naruto to me. With that, he dismissed the Ambu, while on the other hand, Kushina spoke on Minato. Don't tell me that you're gonna welcome him. He ran away long all those years ago and even decided not to follow our will of fire and not contribute to family and to village as Minato sighed. I understand you, Kushina. Naruto may not have any will of fire inside of him, but we can also force him. After all, he was outside of the village as long as we showed him some concern, and he also realized that he could only stay in Konoha. After all, his potential is not as great as Man Mito, so I doubt that even a third class village like the Mist Village will be able to teach him anything. As Kushina smirked at that, well, Minato, you deal with him. Because if he really want to join the family, then he would have to make even greater contributions. I'm gonna dismiss the maid, let him clean our house and clothes and everything. Then maybe we'll let him enter the family once again. With that, Kushina disappeared from there as Minato simply ignored what Kushina said. After all, Naruto's only use is to make contribution to Konoha and accept the will of fire. As long as Naruto practices his will of fire and hand over his chakra to Menma and Mito, then he will definitely welcome Naruto. Let him have some punishment from Kushina's side, maybe cleaning house and cleaning clothes and washing dishes for 2 or 3 years. Then maybe they will give him some money so that he can make some stall like ramen or something like this in Konoha. As Minato thought in his mind and finally decided to wait for Naruto while the Ambu finally appeared at the gate. Well, you are welcome, Uzumaki Naruto. Welcome back to Konoha. As Naruto simply looked towards the Ambu but decided to walk towards the village as the Ambu stepped forward. Lord Hokage has summoned you. Uzumaki and Naruto as Naruto looked towards the Ambu, and an aura of immense power and that surrounded Naruto as the Ambu could not believe his eyes. His whole body was shaking violently, his chakra as if it has met something strange, something that was absorbing it and changing its very will. And the Ambu was scared, even his chakra inside of his body stopped for a second. As Naruto looked towards the Ambu, who was now almost bowing towards Naruto, as Naruto said, "Lead the way." As the Ambu finally came out of his fear, as his body was still shaking, and he could not understand what happened. It was almost for a second all that happened. He felt like a lifetime has passed. The Ambu finally spoke up. Yes, follow me, Uzumaki Naruto." With that, the Ambu started to channel his chakra and decided to lead Naruto towards the Hokage office, while in the office Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kushina were as well as the third Hokage were already present as Minato explained his plan. "Well, this is the plan. What do you think about it, Jiraiya sensei?" As Jiraiya smirked at that, "Well, it should be the honor of Naruto to hand over his chakra, but he might not want to do so. After all, he has already become a genin in the Mist Village." As Kushina scoffed at that, Mist Village is just a third-class village, nothing to be impressive about. Maybe, after all, he's just a Janin, nothing compared to Menma and Mito, while on the other hand, Tadokage looked towards Kushina strangely. After all, Menma and Mito are also Janin, and it was decided by all the villages that the Janin would be at the age of 16, though that so that their next generation could grow up safely and all the villages follow this age graduations. While on the other hand, Jiraiya finally spoke up, "Well, Minato, you're right about it. As long as Naruto decided to follow our will of fire, you will give him some things to know about. After all, he's not suitable to be a genin, and as a shinobi, after all, his potential is not that great." As the third Hokage looked toward Jiraiya dumbfounded. After all, Jiraiya was a loser at the academy. While he has not met with Naruto on multiple occasions, yeah, he still remembered before Naruto left, he could feel chakra inside of him. And his potential seemed to be also pretty well, greater than Jiraiya. As far as he could remember, as Kushina nodded at that, "I have already decided he have to clean house and clean clothes and wash dishes for at least 5 years. Only then I will give him 100,000 Ryu so that he can open a stall for ramen. I have already decided it, and even Minato had agreed to it. As third Hokage at this point has already given up. These people are out of their mind, and at this point he really started to worry about the future of the village. Maybe that concept of the Villa Fire was not that good of a great thing while it stabilized his position. But now it seems that the next generation is getting more and more crazy about it. He needs to have a talk with Minato as soon as possible. As third Hokage was about to say something like they are going a bit too far and they should give Naruto more benefits or something like this. But before he can say anything, there was a knock on the door as a Ambu finally appeared. "Lord Hokage, I have brought Uzumaki and Naruto." As all the people decided to take their seat, ready to intimidate Naruto so that he hand over his chakra. As Minato smiled at that, "Well, let Naruto in." With that, the Ambu decided to leave as Naruto finally entered the room looking towards his previous so-called family and looking toward the expression on the faces of Minato and Kushina, and Naruto could already tell that they have no happiness of, you can say, looking towards a lost son, but rather Kushina seemed ready to punch him, while on the other hand Minato still was smiling, but Naruto could see the calculation behind those eyes, while on the other hand, Jiraiya was looking towards him, nothing but a tool for him to complete his so-called destiny, while on the other hand, Tsunade seemed to not care about anything. While on the other hand, Tadokage also had some complicated emotion on his face, but Naruto decided not to bother with him. "You have called for me, Hokage. What do you want?" But before Minato could say anything, Kushina, step forward. "Naruto, you have gone too far. How dare you run away? You were always just a child, nothing comparable to Menma and Mito, and now you have come back. Do you really think that after coming back, we will let you become a part of our family again?" As Minato also smiled at that, "Well, Naruto, it is good to see you, but I must say that you have really gone too far. Even your mother was so worried about you all these years. So you can tell us, why did you run away?" What were you doing all this time? As Kushina scoffed at that, what could be more than that? He must be begging on the streets of the Mist Village. Nothing more than that. After all, Mist Village is just a third-class village who has just came out of civil war. He must have been capped by some woman and dirting our name as Kushina scoffed at that. While on the other hand, Naruto looked towards Minato and Kushina, while on the other hand, Tadokage was dumbfounded. By looking at this whole scene, one would think that Minato and Kushina were the long lost enemies of Naruto, not his parents, while on the other hand, Jiraiya even stepped forward. Well, Gaki, you have really gone too far. Your parents were so worried about you. We even searched for you. Do you even know that how much time your little tantrum has wasted? You should have just handed over your chakra to Menmal Mito and everyone would have been happy. As Kushina nodded at that, if you really want to return to the family, then these are our demands. You have to hand over your chakra to Menmal Mito so that they can control the power of Nine Tails more easily, and as well as you have to do the work for our mention. We will dismiss all the maids. You have to clean the house and wash the dishes and clean our clothes and everything we will do in between. You have to be a servant for at least 10 years. Yes, 10 years seem to be good, and only then I will give you some money so that you can open some ramen stall around Konoha, and you should accept it. This is mercy from us. As Kushina glared towards Naruto with pure hatred in her eyes, and even now, looking towards Naruto, she could only think of the pain and agony she felt when the QB was extracted from her, as Minato decided not to say anything accepting Kushina's demand. Well, Naruto, do you accept our demands? These are rather generous terms for you. After all, you do not have the potential of your siblings, and you should accept it now. As Naruto looked toward this Sogal family, honestly, previously, he thought many things of these people. And he was always wondering what would be the reaction of these people. After all, Naruto's not darkside. He has the power of darkside, yes, but his personality still is Naruto. As Naruto chuckled at that, and with that he burst into laughter. I must say that I thought many things about this meeting, how this meeting would actually go. But now, looking at you people, I must say that I was thinking too highly of you. As Kushina glared towards Naruto, what are you talking about, brat? As Naruto chuckled at that, you say that I'm not as powerful as Menma and Mido. Who says that? And you also believe that I am here to beg you people to be a part of your pathetic family. I do not need that. I do not need your pathetic will of fire or your so-called good of the village or anything like that. As Minato frowned at that, Minato could never accept any insult to the Villa Fire. After all, he was the living embodiment of the Villa Fire. As Minato spoke up, alright Naruto, that is enough. I know that you're jealous of Menma and Mito and their talent, but you have to understand that you simply do not have the talent of Menma and Mito. Just accept it. And I will talk with your mother to give you more money when your punishment ends. As Naruto scoffed at that, as I said, finally. So you have decided to show your faces, and what else would I have to do, Lord Hokage? As Minato smiled at that, believing that Naruto is finally coming around. Well, Naruto, you have to hand over your chakra. I can feel that your chakra seem to be around a elite joining. That is impressive. That will give Menma and Mito training time for 3 months, and after 3 months, you will hand over your chakra once again, and it will continue. And if Menma and Mito are training for longer periods of time to control the power of the QB, then we might even have to take chakra on daily basis. But do not worry, we will definitely give you good food. As Kushina nodded at that, alright, since Minato is on your side, I will give you 2 ramen bowl, one at tomorrow and one at night, so that your chakra could be prepared and you can hand it over. While on the other hand, Tadokage was truly dumbfounded at this point. He really did not want to say anything about it. Looking at Naruto, he seemed to be looking pretty well and pretty powerful. The chakra level were one thing, but the strength of chakra is another thing, and you could tell that Naruto seemed to have impressive strength at the level of a special Jonin at the very least. And Naruto do not need to accept it, as Naruto smirked at that. Tell you what, I will accept all of your terms. This surprises everyone. Even Tadokage looked towards Naruto in utter shock. He thought that the brat would never accept such terms, as Naruto simply nodded at that. As Kushina smiled, I knew that you would understand it. As Minato also nodded at that. Well, Naruto, let me tell you about the glory of the village as well as the true essence of the Villa fire. Wherever the leaves fly, the fire is endless, and the sacrifices of the older generation are not in waste, and it protects the younger generation, and the next generation will protect the next one, and thus the village will become even stronger and stronger. All you have to do is to accept the Villa fire. Your contributions will protect the village, and the village will become even stronger and protect you in return, Naruto. So you should accept our Villa fire and follow the teachings of the Villa fire. As Minato was talking about the Villa fire just like a brainwashed person, as even the third Hokage did not want you to look towards Minato anymore. It's not to smirk at that, but I do have one condition. When everyone heard that, Jiraiya slammed his hand onto the table. Minato and Naruto, you have gone too far. You have already made your parents worried about you. How dare you put your conditions at this point? Just hand over your chakra and everyone would be happy about it. As Tsunade simply nodded at that, as Naruto smirked at that. I have been listening to your whole lecture. You always told me that I do not have the same potential as Menma and Mito. Well then, let me participate in this Chunin exam. But as long as Menma and Mito are able to beat me in the finals of the Chunin exam, then I will obediently hand over all of my chakra and accept all of your conditions. This surprises everyone as Tsunade smirked at that. Well, Brad, so your jealousy is in work. Let me tell you, Mito is my own student. She also has the power of the super strength. You cannot even handle one punch from her. As Jiraiya nodded at that, well, Naruto, there is a limit to being jealous. So, you should accept the terms as Minato is an eyebrow at that. Well, Naruto, are you really sure about it? Because there are still other parts of the Chunin exam. As for the finals, I seriously doubt that you have the potential to reach the finals. As Naruto simply smirked at that, well then, let me try it. If I am eliminated in the other parts, then I will accept my defeat and accept all of your terms. As Minato and Kushina looked towards each other and nodded nonetheless, while Jiraiya scoffed at that. It would be better for Naruto to simply hand over his chakra so that Menman Mito could become even stronger and protect the world. Why could Naruto do not understand the greater good? There was a powerful being, entity in the shinobi world who is a danger to all of the shinobi world, but Naruto is still getting jealous of his siblings. Truly, Naruto can never be the child of destiny. He was nothing compared to Menma and Mito. As Minato simply sighed at that. Well, Naruto, I must say that your will of fire is not pure enough. But do not worry. I believe that after your defeat, I will definitely personally teach you about the true essence of the will of fire so you can understand it. So I will grant your condition as long as you are ready to accept all of our conditions. As Naruto simply smirked at that but nodded nonetheless. He's gonna have a lot of fun in this Chunin exam. As Minato said, alright then, you're dismissed. We have already put some place for you to stay in. As Naruto simply nodded and decided to leave. As Minato sighed, this boy really have no will of fire. But after his defeat, he will teach him about the true essence of it. As Kushina scoffed at that, well Minato, I'm leaving to teach Menman Mito. Jiraiya sensei, are you gonna join? As Jiraiya and Tsurade nodded and decided to leave, while on the other hand, Tadokage really did not want to have any part of it anymore. These people were truly brainwashed, and Tadokage did not know either to feel proud or worry about it. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is 100 likes and 20 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, see you soon. Peace.